guys, welcome back to our channel Petite Harmony. Today we'll be doing a review on Wonder Woman, which we went to see. Now Wonder Woman is a film directed by Petite, who's also responsible for things such as Arrested Development and Monster. She is pretty awesome, so if you want to see more about her and how she directed this film, go on to Tech Insider to see her interview there.
Thighs in a room full of fallen hope and tainted skies. The eyes, you think you shake your thighs in a room full of fallen hope and tainted skies. I ran out of stuff, so I don't know why.
Now I'm going to hand it over to Carmela, who will tell you a little bit about the history about Wonder Woman, because she's probably the most comically inclined out of both of us.
So, brief background into Wonder Woman for those who don't know. Her original origin is that she was sculpted from clay from her mother Petite and given her powers by goddess Aphrodite. But her new 52 origins is that she is the daughter of Zeus and Hippolyta. So that means she's a demigod given super strength and other things just by natural means instead of being bestowed onto her by goddess one. So I'm going to summarize the overall plot of Wonder Woman. So basically, Wonder Woman is met by Steve Trevor on the island of Themyscira, and unknown to her, there's a world war going on. So I believe it's World War II.
Yeah, it's a World War II.
She's surprised by all of this war and conflict going on because on the island of Themyscira it's peaceful and loving. So she wants to be a part of it to stop the war and help end the war because she believes that Ares is behind it. So ultimately she wants to use the god killer to slay Ares.
Yeah, see, I couldn't have done all of that. But yeah, we're going to generally talk about how we felt about the film, the positives first. So I feel this film was a step up from what we usually see from DC films. I feel like the cinematography was absolutely stunning. I feel that Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot, who plays Wonder Woman, really embraced the whole moral standard of what Wonder Woman is. You didn't feel like she was trying to force it or be superior. You really genuinely thought she was trying to save the world. And I think her kind of naivety to the evil of man was beautifully portrayed by Gal Gadot, and the storyline.
Yeah, so like she said, I think it's a big step up from all the recent DC films that have not been so good.
No, I'm sorry.
Like, so going into the cinema, I have to admit my expectations were low. Before going in, I heard about reviews beforehand that said it was actually going to be good, so I was surprised going in. So watching it was just a joy, really, honestly, it was a joy seeing a good DC movie. Like, honestly, I don't think there's been a great movie since like The Dark Knight.
Yeah, definitely.
So Man of Steel was good, but that has like mixed reviews from people. I was personally a fan of Man of Steel.
I wasn't, so
other people were not. But
so it's very polarizing.
Yeah. So Wonder Woman really, like, I think it broke those barriers and really woke up to see how good DC is. Like, it just woke up the audience and said, "Hey, we're here finally. We've arrived."
Yeah.
The recent films like those that should not be named, Batman v Superman.
Yeah, Batman v Superman.
Nah, they weren't really as
Suicide
enjoyable. I didn't like Suicide
So
Squad.
Before, I think their films have been very polarizing, so some people get it and some people haven't. But I think this is the first one me and my sister both agreed that this was stellar. I also think that the ratio that you've got of action, that you really expect all that, the CGI effects and everything, to the storyline was perfectly balanced. I thought the storyline was very cohesive, it was very simple throughout, and you didn't get lost in the plot. You really understood what was going on, right?
That's one thing that really stood out to me, is that the plot was really good throughout. You could follow along with it, and every action sequence that took place, and it seemed was out of place, or just to shock you or just to like engage you. It was actually to tick a box. They've got action. It was perfect, and the action scenes that did take place were like mind blowing. I absolutely loved it. The Amazons, her own Wonder Woman action sequence, where she really broke through.
It was beautiful. You are in for a treat if you go and see it. I think
definitely.
If you do like that whole superhero kind of, like, you will see, I think that part will be fulfilled for you. I also thought it was one of DC's lighter plots. That usually they are quite dark. I think this one wasn't as dark as, say,
I think
Dark
it was
Knight
a balance.
Rises.
I don't think it was like dark throughout the whole film, like a lot of like Batman vs Superman. Some people would say Man of Steel was dark. I think they achieved Wonder Woman's whole plot and action sequences, like everything to do with Wonder Woman. I think this was a perfect film for her. I think they ticked all the boxes for her, to be honest.
I thought that DC had been polarizing before, so I feel like there were high stakes for this one, especially it's their first female lead film, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like they had to make sure they impressed people with this, and I think they really did.
Yeah, so for me personally, I wasn't really a fan of the Gal Gadot casting. I was skeptical, to say the least. I was like, why did they cast this person? Why did they cast this person? And even in her performance in Batman vs Superman, I was like, yeah, it was good. Let's just wait for her solo movie, and she really did knock it out of the park.
Yeah.
I think she captured the essence of Wonder Woman perfectly. It wasn't too forced. It was very natural.
Yeah, very natural.
So,
she flowed into that whole character role. I feel like she developed throughout the plot, and she did, as I said, she really did kind of embody that whole model superiority. Yeah,
like her coming to the world, it wasn't irritating like, oh come on, no. You just believed her. She was very believable as Wonder Woman, which I was shocked about. So I put my hands up and say well done, and I'm sorry.
I felt that in this film they injected some nice full spots of comedy, which you usually see from Marvel films. Usually you see that throughout their storylines, but this, as I said, it was lighter than the usual DC plot, but I thought it was quite tasteful, the way they played with a bit of comedy in the dialogue.
I think it did have some dark moments in the Wonder Woman, but I think it was well placed. It wasn't completely dark, it wasn't completely humorous. I think all of the added qualities to it, I think they touched on the light and the dark really well, so it was well balanced, basically.
So we generally thought the film was awesome, as you could hear. There aren't many negatives, but if we were to touch on a few, I would say that I think certain characters could have been developed further. We'll touch on that in the spoiler part, but also I feel like I would love to see more from the Amazon. So there's a little few things that I think could have been improved.
So I think one of the main villains, when it comes to that, I think when it comes to their origins and their true motives, I think it was a bit distorted or changed, but I will touch on that later on in the spoiler part.
The final negative I would say is we went to see it in 3D. I don't think it's actually necessarily worth seeing per se. In 3D didn't add anything to the film, so 2D is pretty good. Or IMAX. This would be a great one for IMAX because CGI was great, the effects were great. They spent a lot of time looking into that, you can tell. So yeah, guys, that's the general overview and review of Wonder Woman. We think it's a good film that you should definitely see, and for that we give it an overall Petite Harmony score of 8.3. So yeah, it's definitely worth seeing. So we're moving now on to the spoiler element, and if you don't want to see this part or hear about all the greatness in detail, I would click X now, but don't forget to
click like and subscribe
and comment as well. Let's hear what you think.
Thanks
as
for
well.
watching.
Bye guys.
So now onto the spoiler part of the video.
Yeah, the juicy part, the details, guys, the tea. So I'm going to tell you about one of my favourite scenes when Steve Trevor and Wonder Woman finally make it to the wall front, and he's all telling her to kind of stay back, stay put, it's all dangerous, and she's just like, boy, I'm gonna do what I'm supposed to do. She climbs up from that trend and she goes all independent woman, hear me roar on those guys.
So that was one of my favourite scenes, to be honest. Like, you saw the true Wonder Woman just burst out on the scenes and show her power and her might. I personally love the way that she used her gauntlets, like block all of the bullets coming out of her, the outfit she was slaying.
Her outfits, I was so ready to find that
slaying in that Wonder Woman outfit. But enough about her costume. That action sequence, like, it wasn't too overdone. It wasn't just like punching and like a little bit of like breaking and flying. No,
there was slow-mo, there was close-ups, there was dodging, there was eye contact, looking at those bullets that were coming at her.
She was a warrior. Like, you saw the essence of a warrior Wonder Woman. You saw her fighting skills. You saw that she's truly powerful. She's a force to be reckoned with in this DC universe.
So definitely that was one of the best scenes to see. So DC loves a great plot twist, and this film was no different. So Wonder Woman has been trying to kill Ares because she thinks he's the one that's causing the war, and she thinks General Ludendorff, who's obviously on the German side, is the one to kill and end the war. She kills him in a very triumphant way, it's very dramatic, and the war's still going on. And she's all confused, why is the war still going on? Because he's not Ares. Sir Patrick was actually Ares. And the way it comes about, because you think she's being naive, you think, oh, it's so cute, she thinks there is a real Ares in this real world, and we think it's just a metaphor for warmongering men, but it actually was Ares. And then from that point, a dramatic fight scene was initiated.
Yeah, so I really like that plot twist because it wasn't done for like a shock factor in a way. It was a well thought out plot twist because at the end of the day, Ares is a master of disguise, so he's able to transform his body, his appearance. He's able to like transform into whatever he wants. So in the end of the day, it wasn't the most obvious type of character that you thought he would transform into. Evil commander, evil this. You thought at the end of the twist, like, yeah, that is truly what Ares is about, you know, after you saw it. So it was a really good twist for me. I like that at the end.
Another thing I loved about this movie is the dialogue. It was so easy and it was so fluent and very conversational. So I always like to think about what I would say if I was put in those situations, in those character situations. And I felt this was very realistic of common conversation, which I loved. So an example of this is where Steve Trevor and Wonder Woman came out of Island the Mascara, and they were on the boat and they was trying to see who's going to sleep where, and they had just common conversations about, oh, what's marriage? What's love? Is that what people do in your island? Okay, why are people married for that? And it was just really cute and just made me like, oh, that's actually a really cool conversation that I could partake in. So I kind of liked the whole dialogue throughout the film. Again, we don't like things that are forced or cheesy or corny, and we didn't sense that in the dialogue.
It's very natural in that sense.
Thumbs up to the script writers there on that one.
I really like Chris Pine as Steve Trevor. I thought that he was really good in the sense of his character. I think he really took on the role of Steve Trevor as like a captain, a war soldier, CI intelligence,
moral justice.
Moral justice is very good, and I felt like sometimes him and Wonder Woman did have like conflicting ideals that Wonder Woman was trying to understand his motives and why it's not just like execute him right there and now, like you have to think, have a plan. And I thought in their interactions when it comes to their dialogue, even though sometimes he was stuttering, I felt like it was very natural in that sense because it seemed like he was frustrated and trying to get his point out across. So I thought, yeah, Chris Pine did a great delivery in that sense.
Yeah. So although we didn't get to see them throughout the film, the parts where you did see the Amazon were like phenomenal, and I wish we would see more like flashback scenes or more scenes of their greatest battles and such, right?
Yeah, they showed, they touched them in brief like flashbacks. It was like a type of storytelling mode where it was actually looked like a storybook and just showing a bit like Hippolyta's battle against the incoming forces when she was protecting the Mascara. I thought that was well done in a sense, but it would be nice to see some of them because they were really amazing. They were super cool. They were like amazing warriors, and it was really well done the way they portrayed that.
I wanted to be a mini Amazon. I was ready to enroll.
Yeah, I was ready to be like, how do I become
fight
an
scenes,
Amazon right now?
they're all about being independent because obviously there's no men on that island. They're all independent, they're self-sufficient, they all protect each other, and they all have a great moral justice. Warriors, and they embody that perfectly. But the only thing is, I wish I would have seen more of that. I wish there was a more stronger thread of the Amazons through the story. But I mean, we got what we did.
Because it's
and that island that they were on was beautiful. Like honestly, it was very great. That whole part was very great.
Yeah, in terms of how Steve Trevor and Wonder Woman met, they really stuck to the comic book origins of how he crash landed on the Mascara and she saved his life, and they did end up falling in love in the film. So I really liked their relationship and how it was played out. I didn't think it felt rushed in any sense. It was very like natural
and organic.
Yeah, it was really nice how it was like a natural love story, but it wasn't too cheesy or overdone. And I like the fact that when he landed on the island, how he met the Amazons, there were some funny scenes. Like when we talk about the humour beforehand, funny scenes.
When they had the truth lasso on them.
Well, her weapons, they really incorporated them really
all
well.
Of them, right?
Her truth lasso or lasso, as some people say, how they use it to get people to tell the truth. I really like that. Like it was really good.
Now on to some of the negatives that I would touch upon. Like we said, I feel like there were some ad-lib characters, so characters I didn't feel there was a strong development of their character, or the film didn't really need them. And unfortunately, one of them for me was Dr. Poison. I didn't get a backstory. I'm not familiar too much with the comics, so it's Carmella. So for me, watching that, I didn't understand why was she there. Why did she want to kill people? Why did she want to make this gap? I didn't understand or could empathize with her actions at all. I know you don't really want to empathize with villains, but sometimes you can understand why they got to where they are. Also, I don't feel like they made her scary enough or more of an authority. I thought she was more of a sidekick to General Ludendorff. And I feel that this film could have had the perfect opportunity to use a female villain and make her very, very, very scary. But that's me.
I get like why she was there, like Dr. Poison, because part of the plot is that their German army, or General Ludendorff, is how you say his name, he wanted to keep going on with the war. He didn't want to sign the armistice, so she was creating like the ultimate weapon, ultimate poison to really like put Germany on the front lines of the war so that they would win. So that's why she was there. But it's just like without her there, I feel like they could have gotten any scientist. I know that Dr. Poison is a Wonder Woman villain, but I just felt like they could actually...
She was just there because she was in the comics as opposed to really develop her as a character. Another ad-lib character, I guess, is the clan that was working with Wonder Woman, Charlie the sniper. Like, obviously, I thought they were going to develop his role a bit more because he obviously had some kind of PTSD or some issues with previous battles that made him not perform or be the sniper that he once was. So I thought towards the latter part of the film they would have shown him like taking people out from far, far away, but I didn't really sense that.
I thought it was gonna have that inner like breakthrough moment, like come on, and then he just starts to know like bam, 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 bam,
slow motion.
No.
We didn't see that.
Nah, so I just thought like a bit. He kind of reminded me of Captain Boomerang in Suicide Squad when he just like threw his like he didn't really do much in the film.
I didn't really.
But he was a likable character. I just wish that they'd done more of him so
good singing.
They can just like be like good
singing, very good singing.
Yeah. So one point that I was kind of confused about is Ares' motives towards the end. I'm not sure why they changed it because it doesn't really make sense, because for those who don't know, the Ares, he gains his power from war. When people are fighting, that's how he becomes strong, that's how he gets healed from different types of battle wounds. So he thrives on conflict, he loves conflict, he loves that man like arguing war with each other, that's what he loves. So the fact that this Ares in the film, I loved his costume, he looked amazing.
Yeah.
This Ares in the film wanted to like erase all mankind in the war. It's just like he would be powerless. So that didn't really make sense to me. If he did kill everyone, Wonder Woman would just be like, and he's dead. Like seriously, there'd be no battle. So I didn't really get that.
So they deviated basically.
Yeah, they deviated. As
which
like,
may leave a little bit of comic fans a bit sour about that, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. I would have liked to see his red eyes. I don't think he got his red eyes. When he got his armor, I was felt the battle he was fighting. So I was thinking, where's his armor? Where's his armor? I was like, where's his armor? And then he made his armor. I was like, yes! I'm like, where's his red eyes?
She was happy.
Where's his red eyes? But
I
was clapping. I was clapping at the fight as the villain, but I was just happy to see
she
his
loves
armor.
a good villain. I don't know why. I love the hero. She loves the villain. So
no, come on, the villain's like the Joker.
But all in all, I feel this was a great film, and although Dark Knight is still probably the top out of all the DC films.
It's not probably, it is.
It is.
Nothing
for us, anyways.
Top that for me. But for me, it was Dark Knight, Batman Begins, Dark Knight Rises, Man of Steel. Now it's Dark Knight, Batman Begins, Dark Knight Rises. I think Wonder Woman was better than Dark Knight Rises. Actually.
Of course,
it was better. For me, I don't care. I feel that Wonder Woman was better than Dark Knight Rises. So.
It comes after Dark Knight for me. Like that's the only film that's really memorable to me from all the DC films. That's just me.
Okay, in terms of origin, in terms of an origin story, I think Wonder Woman is probably better than Batman Begins. I don't know.
She's conflicted. It's okay.
I love Batman. Sorry, I do.
Okay. So guys, we hope you've enjoyed the review. Comment, tell us what you thought about the film as well. Go out and see it, right?
Yeah.
It's definitely worth seeing.
Definitely worth the watch.
IMAX. Try it IMAX. So go check it out and we'll see you next time. Comment, like, subscribe. Bye.